Welcome to Razz My Berries. I'm Ryan, and today we're going to be reviewing Poltergeist, but Sam's not here, and I'm a little nervous.
Ryan?
Wait, Sam?
Ryan?
Sam, is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but wait, where are you?
I don't know.
What? Oh gosh, no, this is why I was worried about reviewing this movie.
I found a light.
No, wait, if I remember the movie, don't go towards the light, Sam, wherever you are.
There are 4 lights.
Wait, 4? 4 lights? Well, don't go near any of them.
Wait a minute. I think I found a way out.
Wait, what? How could you find a way out? You gotta be.
False alarm. It was in the bathroom.
You gotta be kidding me. When did you get in there?
I don't know.
Oh, ugh. You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. Well, thank goodness. I was worried about doing this review.
And I'm Sam.
Obviously, considering I was screaming your name while you were in the bathroom, I guess. So, as I was saying before Sam magically appeared, today we are reviewing Poltergeist.
And before we start, I'd just like to say, for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, there are a lot of strobe effects in this movie.
Yes, I was...
So if you have an issue with epilepsy, keep that in mind before you go see it. I'd like to say that they wouldn't have gotten away with that nowadays, but they kind of did with Incredibles 2.
Yeah, they did. I'm going to go right out and say it. I was really surprised how much I liked this movie.
It's wonderful. And it's genuinely terrifying in certain spots.
I'm not a really good horror movie watcher because I don't get scared with horror movies because I know the tricks. I know the stuff that doesn't... I don't get scared easily. So, and I didn't really get scared with this, but I felt tension and I did feel like, I guess would be considered as fear. But yeah, no, I was really into it. Now, was this your first time watching it?
Yes.
Okay. Because this was also my first time watching it.
I had, seen the, really noteworthy scenes like they're here.
Oh, yeah. The classic line.
And the guy peeling his face off. And
good
then
makeup work.
At the end with the house collapsing in on itself.
Yes.
Apparently, Steven Spielberg still has the remains from the model that they built when they did that.
Yeah, I put that in one of my fun facts.
They're just sitting on his shelf.
While I was doing research for it, I was surprised about that Steven Spielberg was the one producing it and that he didn't direct it. And then I found out why he couldn't technically direct it. It was because he was getting ready to release E.T. a week after.
Well, he was working on the 2 movies simultaneously.
Yeah.
According to the cast, he did direct Poltergeist.
That's because that was the other things that were popping up. Some people were saying, "Oh yeah, he directed it," and other people were like, "No, he didn't. He couldn't because of these." And then,
he didn't direct it, but he directed it.
Yeah,
Tobe Hooper.
Yeah, Tobe Hooper.
According to Zelda Rubinstein, when asked who directed the movie, she was like, "Hooper couldn't direct traffic."
That's hilarious. I really loved her character in that. Has she done voice work before?
Yes.
Okay, because I swear I've heard that voice was somewhere before.
Yeah, you probably have. This was actually her breakout movie. She's 4'3", but she was a big advocate for little people in Hollywood. That and she also did a lot of work with activism on HIV and AIDS. She had a really lucrative job that she gave up when she was in her 50s to go into acting.
Nice.
And she had one prior role before Poltergeist, and then Spielberg picked her up. She got a lot of work after this because of this.
Yeah. Wow. No, I think her performance was my favorite thing throughout this whole movie was her performance, and then the other doctor that was in Doctor Lesh, played by Beatrice Straight.
Mm-hmm.
That was the other character I really liked. The scene where it's night and they're trying to get
in the living room.
in the living room, and she's whispering, it's like,
Yeah.
what happens after you die?
I loved what they did with having everyone whisper in that
I
scene.
know, and it created the perfect atmosphere of like, you don't want to anger any of the poltergeists.
That's another point I wanted to talk about was what they were actually being haunted by, because I would make the case that it wasn't a poltergeist. I think J.K. Rowling did the best job at properly characterizing what a poltergeist is. A poltergeist is a manifestation of emotions, usually negative. And poltergeists usually do not have a physical form, and they were never someone who was alive.
Okay.
They were really more haunted by just traditional ghosts.
Okay.
Because, as we saw with all the coffins that rose up through their house.
Which were actual skeletons.
Well, some of them.
Oh, some of them?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But they were the ghosts of actual people.
Okay, and so a poltergeist is not somebody who was alive, is what you're saying. Okay. Just want to make sure I got that clear.
But it makes me wonder what the negative emotions that created it were. The cemetery was relocated, and that upset the spirits of the people who were buried there. And it makes me wonder, well, could a ghost, with all of their negative emotions from that experience of having the cemetery relocated, could that have manifested into a poltergeist?
I guess, because, not all of them had forms.
Well, not all ghosts show their forms, necessarily.
True. I guess. Not a ghost expert. How come it was only their house that was affected?
Apparently, there was
anything.
a novelization of the movie.
Okay.
That was put out after that. Cleared up a few things. Carol Ann was born in the house.
Okay.
So, not even at a hospital. She was...
Yeah, I caught that part.
Born in the house, which apparently attracted all the ghosts to her.
Okay.
She was born in the house, but she was also born of the house.
Yeah. There was another thing that kind of bugged me about it. You know that thing with the clown? That clown doll? That bugged me. It's like, if you're scared of it, why would you prop it up to be looking at you while you're in bed?
I don't think he did that. I would bet that one of his parents probably did that.
Okay, then why didn't you just get out of bed and just move it?
Because he was terrified of the clown. That clown is terrifying.
Yes, the clown. I'm not just saying the clown's not scary, because yeah, clowns can be scary. But it's like, if it bugs you that much, put it in the closet. Get up.
Yeah.
I understand being scared of it, but it's like...
That's why he threw his Chewbacca coat on.
I know. But I'm like the second time. Second time. It's like, okay, come on.
Well...
And he missed. He didn't... He threw it again, but he missed. It's like, oh well, I'm just going to go to bed. Not going to worry about it.
Well, I can kind of give him that because, at that point, everyone thought, well...
Okay, yeah.
The house has been completely cleaned.
Yeah, okay. That... All right, you get that one, too.
Have you ever seen the show Ghost Hunters? It was on Sci-Fi.
Yes, I did. I actually loved that show.
Okay, so apparently one of them, I didn't catch who, but they have said that they've seen that clown in whatever museum that they have it stored in. And he's like, I've always hated that clown since I saw this movie as a child. And this movie is part of what inspired me to go into the ghost hunting business. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was...
I don't know why the parents would have bought that clown in the first place.
Really.
I think it's terrifying.
Well, I don't get scared of clowns. I understand people's fear of them, though, because clowns are just weird to me looking. And, yeah, no, that clown was creepy, and I was like, I knew there was something going to happen with that clown. Because I think I have seen that clip of when it wraps his arm around him. And it's like, that clown's just creepy.
They choked him.
Oh, choked.
Accidentally.
Oh,
while they were filming that.
Oh, my God.
He was shouting out, I can't breathe, and Spielberg thought he was ad-libbing until he saw the kid turning purple.
Oh, good. Oh, man.
He was apparently really nice to the kids. And he was like, we're done with this scene. It's fine. So, another thing with the kid that I never understood was he was afraid of the tree and afraid of the lightning, but he never closed his blinds.
Yeah, that was the other thing, and also that I also would complain about the fathers. Like, if he knows it's scary, why didn't, when he was getting ready to leave the bedroom, why didn't he just close the blinds?
Yeah, either him or the kid. One of the two.
One of them should have closed it if you're scared of the tree.
And the lightning. Granted, who knows if you could see the lightning with how well lit up the house was.
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't sleep in the 80s. You can't sleep in 80s films because of how bright the sets are.
Yeah, really.
The little girl who played Carol Ann, the only scene that scared her was getting sucked into the closet. It got to the point where they were filming it where he yelled cut and she was in tears.
Poor thing.
And he ran up to her and comforted her and was like, it's okay, we do not have to do that scene again.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, from what I know, Steven is a great guy. Speaking of the child actors, they did really good. Like, I've seen some pretty bad acting through, like, sci-fi movies, like on the Sci-Fi Channel. I've seen some pretty bad child actors.
It's unfortunate what happened to the two daughters, though.
Yeah.
Because the eldest daughter, shortly after the first movie came out, she was killed by an enraged ex-boyfriend. And then, shortly before the third movie was released in theaters. I mean, they had completely finished filming. And they almost didn't release the film. But the girl who played Carol Ann died from something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was like 11 years old.
Yeah. And that's hence why people say the movie's cursed.
Yeah. And, yeah, going back to why the movie's cursed is because they used actual skeleton.
Yeah.
Or supposedly cursed.
Yeah.
But, at any rate, they did use actual skeletons in the pool scene.
And I found out they did that because they said that making rubber ones were too expensive.
They didn't tell...
Jo
Beth Williams. They didn't tell her until after she had shot the scene that, yeah, those were real skeletons.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was the third or the second one, but they had another actor, and he actually performed, like, I think it was an exorcism on the set of the movie, and that put everybody at ease.
So another thing that is still kind of weird to me, while they were packing up the house and loading everything onto the moving truck, why didn't they go to the hotel?
Thank you! I was really hoping you were going to put that up, because that was another thing, because I'll be home early, and we'll go to the hotel. How early early because it was dark and they were going to bed. Like, what's your definition of early? You should have gone to the hotel.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it looked like there was still a lot of stuff in that house that they had not packed up.
That too. But, I mean, I guess the argument's sake, I guess if they had to stay a little longer, they, like you said from the earlier thing, the house, they believed, was cleansed. Everything was good. So they thought, oh, well, he's not home yet. We can just stay a little longer. What could it hurt?
At the beginning of the movie, I really thought, well, you know, this is really going to break the mold of just jumping right into the plot.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't, because the exposition that next day, I loved looking back at that 80s house.
I know.
Where they have to share, well, yeah, have to, but they are sharing the TV signal with their neighbor.
Yeah.
They've got the long phone cord that Craig T. Nelson ended up wrapping around himself. You've got the old tube TV in the living room, and you've got the tiny little TV in the dining room, kitchen.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny, because, like, when it was doing that, it's like, oh, honey, don't sit so close to the TV, it'll hurt your eye. She just changed the channel and then just let her just stay there watching. It's like, yep, now you won't be blinded by fuzz, you'll be blinded by wartime films.
But I have to say, other than, you know, the few quirks that the parents had, they were actually really well written. They care for each other, they care for the family. Yeah,
it felt like, you know, an innocent home. You know, it's everyday life.
All of the actors and actresses in this film were brand new.
Yeah.
They didn't.
I had never even heard of any of them, quite frankly.
I've heard of Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, except that one. Except that one, sorry.
He was the only one that I recognized.
That was one name I did recognize. Like,
but, you know, even beyond the family, the other four, really, characters that came in, Dr. Lesh and Ryan and Marty, and then
Tangina, I believe it was pronounced.
Yeah, Tangina. You know, the two women were fleshed out a little bit more, but all four of them were really well written out.
Yeah, no, I love the writing in this.
I think of Marty and Ryan. They were, you know, as interested as they were scared, and I thought that's the perfect way to go about writing side characters like this, because yes, they're really just there because Dr. Lesh is there, but they really do add a lot to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the part that I told Ryan that we'd have to save for last.
And I was more than happy to wait for the last.
We're going to talk about the special effects.
Oh, yes.
I loved how many practical effects that they had in the movie. Between the face peeling off and
propane.
Sorry,
I had to throw that.
Carol Ann getting sucked into the closet. Diane in the bedroom rolling around.
How'd they do that? Do you know how they do that?
They built it so that it would spin, and they had a stationary camera.
Okay, so they had that.
The room would roll around slowly, and she would work her way around the walls and the ceiling. Also a really hard set to build.
Yeah.
You have to nail down everything.
And I liked the scene with the giant, like, monster head coming out.
Which one?
The one with, like...
The one that came out of the closet?
The one that came... Well, like, Craig T. Nelson was, like, you know... like
on the rope,
was on the rope, and then that thing came out.
Yeah.
That one was awesome. I was laughing really hard with the ghost thing that was coming out with the lion roar.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, you guys couldn't have done anything
to make it not sound like a lion.
Yeah. Like, okay.
I thought that was hilarious.
You do you.
That was, I mean, I guess that would be one thing that took me kind of out of the movie because I was laughing my head off for that because, like, I didn't know you guys had also buried lions under the house.
Yeah. But yeah, then also, the house being broken apart.
Yes, I loved that.
They apparently shot that at like 300 frames a second. Took 5 minutes for the camera to warm up.
Oh, jeez.
And they had built the model and sucked it all down. They had I guess they had a little tube in the back where all the pieces went down. And apparently they had to wait fair amount of time before they could find out whether or not they had to rebuild it and shoot the scene again.
Oh, jeez.
Luckily, though, they got it right on the first try. Oh, and the exit portal in the living room. I thought that was really well done.
That was all, yes.
Like, the two shots that I noticed were looking down from the portal into the living room and having just the end of the rope, and you could see where the rope stopped. I was like, I know exactly how they did that. They tied like fishing line or something to the end of the rope, but that still looks really cool.
It did. I was really impressed with that, how it looked.
And then seeing Diane and Carol Ann fall through the portal at the end, I thought that was really well done as well.
As great as some of these special effects work was, there were some parts that weren't terribly good. When the Dr. Lesh, Marty, and Ryan were going into the room that they said they had closed off where all the activity was going in, and they opened that and a bunch of stuff was going on. Yeah, that one was... I did like Hope riding a horse, though.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit off, but still, it was, for the time, still pretty good. And then, I want to say, I really want to bring this up, the chair scene.
Yes.
The chair scene where, like, they did one take of her, like, and then she moved, and then she came back, and back, and back. Boom! The chairs were like that. It was like, wow.
Yeah, and
that was impressive.
That was a legitimate one shot or one take.
Yeah.
They had the chairs pre-stacked, and when they panned away, they had crew members come in, silently pull the chairs out, and lay the new stack of chairs on the table.
Yeah. And then, and one more side note thing, I'm really glad nothing bad happened to the dog. Because I was worried about that.
Yeah, actually, the only fatality in the movie was the bird.
So I guess we can move on to favorite scene of the movie.
Yeah.
So, my favorite scene has to be, like, right when Diane is about to go in the door. Or in the closet, and she's like,
we have the same favorite scene.
Oh gosh, it's your favorite too. When she's like, "You've never done this before. Neither have you. You're right. You go." That was Crystal saw that scene too, and she busted laughing.
I'm like, you've built up so much tension in this moment, and boom, I'm laughing.
I know.
I mean, that moment just absolutely made that character.
I know.
Since we had the same favorite scene, I will say my second favorite scene is that evening that they're all down in the living room when they're having the whole talk with Dr. Lesh about the afterlife. As we talked about earlier, that was a really, really well done scene. Just sets the mood perfectly.
I guess now we'll move on to, I want to see some other people's like thoughts and reactions to this. I'm going to take first look at John Donahue, and he said about the film, "One of my many favorite things about 1982's Poltergeist is the chemistry between its two leads, Jo Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson. They are so loving, natural, and organic that you really believe they are a couple. Actually, I'm kind of bummed they're not."
Yeah.
And I would definitely agree with what he said about that, because that was part that sold the authenticity of the film, that these are two parents who are worried about their child. They want to get her out.
And then Ralph Novak said, Hooper and Spielberg have worked long and hard to bring the ghost story to its fullest potential. They have succeeded.
Indeed, they did. And
I would say that this is probably it's definitely one of the strongest ghost stories out there.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's go to final verdicts.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. So I am going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's a very strong movie with a very relatable cast, a cast that emulates a close-knit family, and despite its few faults, I still find this to be a very well-written movie with a very well-written cast of characters.
Okay. I know there are a few things that were kind of off with it, but I honestly feel comfortable giving it a 5. I really feel comfortable giving this a 5 berries, because I went in not sure. With 80s movies, I would say most of the 80s movies, they're like classic hits. When they say this is a really great movie, they're not lying.
Yeah.
So, I was pretty blown away. I loved the performances. Like you said, the close-knit family. It felt real and authentic. I was just really, really impressed. So I feel, even with some of the off parts, like some of the criticisms with it, I still feel comfortable giving it a 5. So that gives us 9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you've
that's 9 out of 10, not 9.5.
But you said 4.5.
Yeah.
And I said 5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. 9.5. You're right. Whatever.
Yay! I finally win something! Well, now that we've got our ranking, be sure to comment below your memories of seeing Poltergeist, anything that you love about the film. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when our other Halloween videos will be out.
Maybe, if YouTube doesn't screw that up.
Yep. Or if you want to be double sure, click on that little bell, because I know it's there.
Not that helps anymore.
Yeah. We have a Facebook page now, so you can go over to Facebook, like us on Facebook, go to Twitter, follow us on Twitter, and so yeah.
Bye.
Bye.